is up, everybody? Welcome you to SportsShack episode 47. 3 episodes away from episode 50. So that'll be a good milestone for us.
Mhm.
And Easter's coming up this weekend. Hope everybody has a great holiday weekend. And yeah, so everything's been good. But Denny, may I ask, how are you today?
Doing very good. Sorry about the awkward start there. My phone fell off my couch. Doing good. Doing good. Baseball's back. I'm mad St. John's got eliminated. I am. I want to see. I want to see New York win a championship. Well, the Liberty won a couple of years ago, but I want to see another team win. I want to be consumed by victory, Brandon.
It's true. People keep forgetting about the New York Liberty.
I wore my
They
New
won
York Liberty shirt yesterday.
Was that?
I wore my New York Liberty shirt yesterday.
That's good. I bet the game's probably good, especially at the
Probably.
Barclays. Any game at the Barclays is good. I definitely. I keep forgetting that. I did go to a basketball game this year, but I didn't go to a Knick game. I went to see the Nets, but I didn't get to go to see the Knicks, the Knickerbockers.
Yeah.
My dog. My dog wants to. See my dog. I don't know if you already heard the scratching. My dog wants to
So,
be in the room. I can't deny my dog, but kudos to St. John's for making this far. They were leading Duke by a lot. They were up by like 9 at one point, and then the Boozer twins, they came out of nowhere, and of course they stormed out, and next thing you know they won, but they ended up winning. But then I believe they got eliminated next week. They had like a 19-point lead, and then they lost to Iowa, I believe, correct?
no,
Like it was like a last second shot.
no, I think you got your games mixed up.
I believe I do.
No. They lost. They got knocked out by Duke.
No, I'm talking about like Duke got knocked out by Iowa the next week.
No. Duke got knocked out by UConn.
Okay, it was UConn.
Oh, okay. I see what you mean. I think you're thinking of Florida. The Gators lost to Iowa. Duke got knocked out by UConn.
Right. Okay. Duke got
Yeah.
knocked out by UConn.
But you're right. It was a last second shot. Yeah. So interesting. Like it's just like a fun game. Like when college basketball is good, it's really fun. And then like there's sometimes like obviously there's so many blowouts, and the blowouts are just horrible to watch, just horrible TV. But when especially you have a team like St. John's going into it, like you don't really expect them to do much. They should have been a higher seed than UConn. That was stupid that they weren't. Ultimately, I don't think it really changes much, but it's just fun to see a New York team go far, get to the Sweet 16 for the first time in 27 years. And it was just a fun watch all around. It was a really fun watch, and it just sucks it didn't go their way. But it was a good game. I think that towards the end there, Rick Pitino used the last timeout. I thought maybe a little early. But aside from that, fine, well coached, well played, yada, yada, yada. Good for everybody. And it's just a fun time all around. It's just, not the result. And we'll see what happens now. I mean, it was like I said, it was a good game that they played, and then UConn beat Michigan State pretty handedly to get into the Elite Eight, where they beat Duke 73-72 on a last-second Braylon Mullins 3-point shot, which was just incredible. Very quick defensive IQ, steal the ball. Kind of a boneheaded play by Boozer to try to throw the ball over midcourt. I get the thinking there. It would have ensured the victory regardless. So I understand what he was thinking. It just didn't really work out for them. And it took, listen, even that with that, a lot of people are killing Duke and killing Boozer. But it was a miracle shot that went in. Like, they could have played better defense. It was like a 35, 36 point shot. Like, that is not a gimme. So, and it wasn't exactly wide open. Again, he was shooting over somebody. Anyway, it's just one of those things. Great TV. I always root for that in great TV. And that ended the East region, and all the other regions sucked. Like, their game sucked. Michigan completely blew out Tennessee 95-62. Thanks for playing. Illinois beat Iowa 71-59. Thanks for playing. Arizona beat Purdue 79-64. Thanks for playing. Just boring games. So to have this UConn v Duke thriller was just such a palate cleanser. And now UConn going up against Illinois and Michigan is going up against Arizona. That's your Final Four for the men's. And Illinois is favored over UConn. I do not agree with that. Do not agree with that at all. But we'll see. See how it plays out.
Yeah, no, it's definitely been a good March, man. I feel like there's been some decent games, in my opinion. There were some fun games that were nail biters, last second shots, blown leads. Like there's a lot of comebacks. So, my bracket has been broken for a bit, so I haven't really been, I deleted my apps already. I'll save them for next year. My brackets were cooked. They were toast. I was not winning my pool. I was not, I didn't have the best bracket. I didn't have, High Point over whoever they played. Who High Point
Arkansas.
beat? Is that who they beat?
Was it Arkansas or Nebraska?
I don't think.
Hold on. I got rid of I just had it up and then I switched. It was Wisconsin. All right. It was none of the.
Yeah, Wisconsin. Right. I know, but no, St. John's was playing well. They made the Sweet 16 for the first time since 1999. As you alluded to, Meta World Peace was from there. Pretty fun, interesting fact to put, to spew, put out there. Obviously Hofstra and St. John's. No, Hofstra, LIU. They didn't, they didn't play the best that they could, but obviously, they did, they did their best. Siena, I think, played good, right? I forgot they almost won.
Yeah, they lost to Duke 65-71. They made it a game.
Yeah, they almost beat Duke. It was a close game. But I think it was one of the games that was my favorite was the Kentucky game. I forgot who they beat. I think it was St. Mary, I think. Pretty sure it was St. Mary. They almost won, if I'm correct. They almost won. But Kentucky made a half-court shot with buzzer beater half-court shot. Legendary shot. Let's see. Kentucky. Let's see. I'm trying to find it. Oh, wow. Tournament. March Madness tournament,
Santa Clara?
Okay, it was Santa Clara.
No,
St. Mary. It wasn't St. Mary. I thought it was St. Mary, but it's Santa Clara. It was Santa Clara. That's who it was.
Game winner either. That was 89-84. I'm trying to think because I feel like I know what you're talking about, but I can't remember specifically what game it happened in.
But either way, great game, great tournament so far, and I guess so. All these teams, we'll see you next year. It made me realize college basketball can be fun to watch.
Yeah,
it's
it's like so so much game to game between what's a fun watch and what's not a fun watch, and then sometimes it's a random Cinderella team starts giving you a run. So
I feel like it's like college football, but small, and just obviously different sport. I don't know, just something about the college atmosphere. It's intense. These college teams, these college universities, they take their sports serious, and especially in some places like Wyoming or Nebraska or or what else, maybe Alabama. That's all. That's not saying that's all they have, but they don't have teams like the Jets, the Yankees, the Mets, or the Dodgers, they don't have professional sports teams. It's just college,
Mm-hmm.
Especially a place like St. John's. I supposedly realized St. John's, they had a football team. I didn't realize that. I think it disbanded in the late 90s, if I'm correct. That would have been cool to just to know that St. John's kept the football team. It sucks that Hofstra got rid of their football team. That, to me, that bums me out. As soon as the Jets left Hofstra, they went to their training facility in Jersey. that the Hofstra program was on thin ice right there. That's when it was able to, if I'm correct. So like,
Yeah, they wanted to move their money into other programs, and I think a big part of that was nursing.
yes, nursing was a big part of it. Yes, and especially, but yeah. So,
The old
and hey,
lacrosse coach was
hey,
on the last team.
hopefully one day they do find a way to bring back the Hofstra football team. Obviously I've been to the football stadium before, seen Plain Edge in it. It would be cool one day to have, just obviously, the memories and just it's cool to just, obviously have these college football, D1 football, programs like in your backyard. Like we do have LAU and we do have Stony Brook. I have been to Stony Brook games, just they're far. Like Hofstra is right down the corner from us. So I would love to, and it's just obviously the nostalgia and like to me, like the Hofstra football program is like legendary. Like it's a legend. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm.
so, obviously I hear all the stories of the players like Marcus Colston, Willie Colon, Jed Legend, Wayne Corbett, like the Flying Dutchman. So I don't know. It would be cool to see a Hofstra team back, but I do love, like you said, I think, the fact that they put into the nursing programs and all that I think is pretty cool, of course.
Yeah, I don't think it's ever going to happen. I think especially with NIL money, I don't think it's going to happen because there's really no allure for it. I'm surprised that St. John's doesn't have one. Because now if you're trying to start a D1 football program, now you're actually competing for free agents. Think about that. Like I think this is like you kind of just like stumbled into like a great topic. Like it was just this is really interesting because how do you get a chip at like a chip in a chair at the game? I don't know how you do. And we saw this in this most recent football season with Indiana. Indiana bought their team, but Indiana, how did their basketball team do? So they took all the funding that they would normally use for basketball and they put it all into football. And
Yeah.
so like it's just I don't know if you could be a servant of two masters anymore. I'm surprised Vanderbilt has done as well as they have.
This is sad.
They're known as the baseball school.
Right.
They're like this baseball school and this pitching factory and whatnot. And then you have them do pretty good in football, if I'm not mistaken. Like, okay, serviceable. And then you have them doing pretty decent in college basketball, too. And they're not a big school. Like, UConn's a big school.
Wait, hold on. I have to. Can you believe? So me and you have actually been alive for like St. John's like football. They were around for about a century. Okay, they were around from 1884 to 2002. The St. John's football program, and I don't know why they cut it, but so the reason they cited Title 1X compliance requiring athletic programs to reflect the university's female heavy student population and the high cost of football. Okay, so that's why they
Title 9.
I guess St. John's was a big female school at the time.
Maybe that's why Title 9 knocked out Hofstra.
No, you know what? Like you said, I guess I did stumble upon a good topic because now I'm curious. I'm curious now why Hofstra like didn't.
Yeah, but I don't buy that that. Are you trying to tell me Duke is putting as much money into their men's basketball program as they're putting into their women's teams? That's not true.
Come on. I feel like it had to be for money reasons. I feel like they use I don't know. Like
I think they use Title IX as a reason to get rid of it. Because that's about equality. That's about equality based upon gender. Title IX. So if they're saying that they got rid of the football team because of Title IX, that means because their funding has to be even. But St. John's is a private institution. I don't think they're beholden to Title IX in the same way.
I mean, I guess
think that's only federal funding.
I guess if it was to go with Title IX compliance, then hey, good for them. I didn't, I hope like I said, if they would go with Title IX compliance, then sure.
Hold on, double checking myself here.
Right. Like I said, hey, if it was to go with Title IX compliance, then hey, good for them.
Yeah, it's. I think they used it as an excuse. I was right. The reason why I say that is because Title IX is only for federal funding. and because they get federal loans and grants and whatnot, that's how they get like money. So federal loans and grants and stuff like that they get federally, that could go into different programs, scholarships, things like that. But ultimately, it's not a necessity. I still I gotta be honest, I still don't believe that some of these schools are pumping the same amount of money into women's basketball as men's basketball. I still think that's BS. Or women's soccer and men's. I think that's BS. Personally, I'm not a. I don't have the financials in front of me. I don't know.
I'm a little confused on how the Title IX compliance. So like, because the way it was describing it, it said that So because I'm confused. I don't know.
It's discrimination based upon sex.
Right.
So
right.
what it is for the federal government. So nationwide, this is history teacher here. Federal government nationwide can withhold giving you grants and money to subsidize your institution because you're not abiding by Title IX, which is a federal law. Well, federal act, but so because of that, if you're a school who's overfunding the men's programs, that is discrimination based upon gender. But it's really not. It's only discrimination based upon gender if somebody says it is. So if nobody's making the case for it, I don't know how it could be brought upon. Like if you walk, I'll give you this example. We never went into the women's locker room at Old Westbury, obviously. But if we went into the men's locker room and it looks like Crunch Fitness, and then we walk into the men, like if we walk into the men's locker room, it's high tech, like really nice, really well kept, and then we walk into the women's locker room and it looks like, like we were saying before the show, Planet Fitness, which is a little more run down or something like that.
Right, run down.
I'm trying to think of something to be funny, but it's just not working.
Equal.
If it's something's like really up, like well maintained and well kept and everything like that, and then the opposite is true for the opposite gender, that's a violation of Title IX. Either which way, it was made to protect, to elevate women, but the same could be true regardless. If you're favoring the women too much, that is also a violation of Title IX. So, yeah, like I'm trying to think. Like I find this bizarre. I didn't think we were gonna like stumble into this, but like it is.
No,
I didn't realize that's why St. John's got rid of football team.
Cost cutting in the Title IX compliance. So hey, you know what? If it was to make like you said, equal and balances in the university, then hey, so be it. Obviously we're obviously for equality and equal. What's up?
The NCAA violates Title IX
all the time.
All the time, because we've seen all the stuff about how the men get treated in the men's college basketball March Madness and the women, and all the stuff the guys get and their conditions and their locker rooms and their accommodations and the women. So the NCAA violates Title IX. Now, I'm sure what they would say, I'm not a lawyer, I'm sure what they would say is that it's not us, it's private companies donating these shirts, donating these bags, donating the use of their hotels for publicity. I don't think that's true, but I think like if this came out, like I remember a couple years ago they were talking about this. Like some of the women basketball players were posting like, "Are you serious?" With some of the like I said, accommodations and things like that, and the difference between the two, because at some point they overlapped and they're in the same city at the same time. And I'm very surprised that that's why I'm saying like I'm probably overthinking it, because some lawyer who wants to make a name for themselves would have jumped over that or some politician would have jumped on that bandwagon and went against the NCAA for violating Title IX.
Yeah, hey, like I said,
this is the same for private jobs too. Like if your job gets federal grants, they have to abide by Title IX as well, if I'm not mistaken. And same thing for public schools. So like I'm sure a reason why, like when we were in high school and whatnot, like our cheerleading teams would have to like travel and stuff like that, and get to go to Florida and I think I'm sure your sister was probably on some of those trips.
She
Get
went to
to
Florida.
travel all over the place for it, and your football team doesn't, and some of the other boys teams don't. That's probably why they probably has some kind of reason to do with that. They probably have that money set aside for those kinds of things.
Right.
So they can say, yes, we're paying our coaches X amount of dollars for men's football, but we have all this money in our travel budget dedicated to women. I could be thinking of this wrong, but I don't think so. I'm like just talking about this in class last night. Different.
Yeah. Hey, like I said, and just so we can move on from the topic. Like I said,
Interesting.
yeah, interesting. Like I said, it sucks that the program had to get cut, but if it was for Title IX compliance reasons, hey, you know what? We're not going to argue for that because we're all for inequality in both genders, in both sexes. So yeah, hey, if it's to comply with Title IX compliance, we are all for equality. So we're not going to fight that. It just sucks to hear. I just saying it sucks because it would have been cool to see St. John's like football. I had no idea that there was a football team till recently, like obviously probably till now. So that's why I'm like, damn, it would have been cool to see. But yeah. So, but either way, March Madness. It's been fun to watch. Hold on 1 second. Oh, dogs, they hear each other. Go ahead.
That's so funny. Oh my gosh. So your dog hurt my dog because my dog. I'm wearing the headphones.
It's definitely one of that. But it's also I think my mom coming home too. So
So they're synchronized. They synchronize their watches.
there you go. It's sometimes when my dog, we hear our neighbor's dog. That's like she'll sometimes her bark. Like I'm sure, Chloe.
You're looking at me. I don't know.
No, your dog. Say what?
Oh, Callie.
Callie. That was close.
Yeah.
It's close. Callie. I'm sure Callie. Like probably when she gets older, she's gonna hear other dogs, like neighbors.
I don't think our neighbors have dogs anymore. I think the house behind me. I think their dog died.
Oh, rest in
Because
peace.
I haven't heard them out with their dog in a while. But I haven't thought about it either.
But yeah, but that's that. So let's look at the March Madness games that are coming up.
It's only 3 games left. Final 4, and then
The championship.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Final Four. I think I had Michigan going far. It's Michigan versus Arizona. That game is Saturday. So the first game is obviously the Final Four is the Saturday, April 4th. Illinois is going to be going up against UConn. That game starts at 6:09. Then Michigan takes on Arizona at 8:49. So, and I believe the Final Four is in Indianapolis inside the Colts Stadium. I like how they do that. It's so big of a tournament that they fill it in a stadium. I think that's pretty cool. I wouldn't mind if I attended that one of the day. You know what? Now that I have SeatGeek and I'm looking at Met games, let's take a look. So I'm kind of curious.
That's got to be a grand.
Let's take a look. Oh, Jesus. Okay. Well, that's weird. So the championship. Okay, wait. So I'm a little confused. So I'm looking at this. For all sessions, like for April 4th, and then the championship game, it's like $700. That's like, I guess, a combined. It's weird to me. But then you have the semifinals for both games that go for like 500. But then now the championship game starts at $200. This is for the championship game. I feel like that's pretty cheap for the championship. It depends where you're sitting.
And I think that's also because they don't know who's playing. That's like when I went to the World Baseball Classic. That's why I always get tickets so far in advance and start looking at tickets right when they drop, because they're actually they start low, they get high, then they go low again. Especially with those kinds of tournaments where you don't know who's going to actually get there, it's better to do it when things are looking wrong.
Like you see the sheet, like you see.
My hair looks horrible today. Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
Like this is like
Forget that.
Like I'm sure you could sit. Oh my God! Imagine like sitting back here.
And spending in
That's
the hundreds,
that's insane to me.
almost $400 for that view.
That's insane to me. People do spend it. I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
if you were to
obviously,
get it in advance, how much would you pay? How much would you pay for like? Yeah, this is
I'm
insane.
more interested in if they have insurance. If they allow you ticket insurance, you know what I'm saying? That you
Right.
could get your ticket refunded if your team doesn't make it. Because that's the other thing with these tournaments. That's what happens. So let's
Ah,
pretend I'm a
okay.
Florida Gators fan and I bought that ticket when the championship tickets first dropped. We'll just make it up. Um, but well, now Florida's not in it, so I'm not going to the game. So instead of selling my ticket, I'm just going to be refunded for whatever I spent. I don't care about selling it. So I'm curious what they allow and don't allow. But that's for a
You
different
know, I
day.
didn't think of that. That's probably right. They don't know who's going to be in it. But either way, tickets are expensive. Oh, I can't imagine how much it's. Because I never looked into it. Not that I've have thought of going to the Final Four.
Curious how much the women's tickets are. Which I didn't even realize. I could have sworn the women's March Madness is usually later. Am I crazy on that? Like it's usually like starts after the men's, but I guess not. Wow, still 431. That's a lot. But that's the games combined. For just one game, it's like 200 each,
Right.
which
Okay.
is around the same for the final. Okay. And something interesting with the women, by the way. And of course, you want to continue talking about the men, but
Say it again.
I was going to say it's something interesting with the women, but I don't know if you want to stay talking about the men's game or not.
Yeah, sure. Real quick, we can talk about it. Real quick, because then I think we
Mhm.
should dive into the MLB real quick.
Right, because I know you're on a time crunch here. I feel like you never see this in these tournaments. All 4 1 seeds made it out of their region for the women. Every single one of them blew out the competition every single game. Double digit wins, every single one of them.
Okay.
I mean, some of these games are nuts. South Carolina beat USC by 40 points. South Carolina beat Southern by 69 points. Like some of these games are wild, but all 4 1 seeds made it out to the Final Four, which is tomorrow for the women.
Hmm.
Interesting. So it's UConn, South Carolina, UCLA, and Texas. So I'll root for UConn. Why not?
Yeah,
Connecticut's close enough to New York that I'll count them.
I have toured UConn one time.
Really?
I did, yes.
A buddy
I
of mine
did.
went there to be a vet.
Was that?
A buddy of mine went there to be a vet.
Oh, well, good for him.
Veterinarian. Yeah.
I went there because my sister and she was touring there, and then I thought I was going to go there. I did say it. I'm like, oh, maybe I'll go here. No, I settled for SUNY Old Westbury, which hey, so kudos. But I didn't go to UConn. Nope. Good basketball school though. Like I said, both men's and women's programs insane. And obviously, we could tell they're in the final. They're in the Final Four, going up against Illinois. All right. So I think with baseball, right? Right? Am I wrong? Yeah, UConn programs are good programs.
Oh yeah. They're dominant, both of them.
Dominant.
Basketball.
So now with baseball, I think it was a fun opening week. The first game was insane for the Mets. I know Paul Skeens, I did not predict that he was going to get knocked out after giving up 5 runs on 30, 35, 40 pitches around there. That's how much he had. And the Mets had a great opening day. They were hitting, and they just looked dominant. Freddie Peralta had a decent outing. Would have thought he would have had a little better. He did pitch good yesterday, too, against the Cardinals, which the Mets should have won that game. That's a whole nother story. But, yeah, I know we're at 500 right now for the Mets at 3-3. I'm not trying to overreact yet. I know you've been telling me Bo Bichette is very. I don't know if it was you or someone. Bo Bichette is a very slow hitter.
I was saying it to you the other night.
He's a very slow hitter, so it's going to take time for him to, just adjust and just. Oh yes, you were saying this to me on the show. Yes. So once he gets going, it's going to be lights out. It's going to be nothing. I feel like this is worse than when Lindor had his rough stretch, though. And
I mean, is it?
what?
Is it?
Lindor had a bad stretch the first year he came.
Yeah, but he was unplayably bad. Has Bo Bichette been that bad? I'm not gonna let Met fans retcon the fact that you guys all wanted Francisco Lindor tarred and feathered at one point.
Listen, New York. It's go look at his stats.
Wasn't he hitting this for like 60 at bats or something like that?
Lindor was he did not have a
Yeah.
good he didn't have a good, and then obviously Lindor became what he is for the Mets. It takes time. I could have the patience. All I'm saying right now with Bo Bichette, to be honest, it has not looked good.
No.
He has not had a good start.
Three for
His
26.
average is below 100. And again, it's only 6 games. I get it. But like I said, it's just not a good start. So he needs to pick up the slack. So does Marcus Semien. Jorge Polanco's looked decent. Carson Bench, obviously made a bad error yesterday. He's a rookie. He's going to learn. And hopefully he can get better and he'll learn from it. So that was a whole Met blunder. The whole Mets yesterday looked like a blunder. And again, I know it's the first 6 games of the year. I get it. It just, I want to see more of the team because I know the potential that they can have, especially since Alonso is off the team. So is Nimmo. But like I said, I thought it was funny that Alonso hit a home run off of Jacob deGrom. I thought that was pretty funny. But like I said, I'm not trying to worry yet, but I hate these early season struggles.
I don't think they're going to matter in the long run. Bo Bichette, so like I said the other night, but I'll reiterate it for this new audience. Bo Bichette is a notorious slow starter. And his stats always even out very well. So I don't think it's a big deal. So far, 27 at bats, 29 plate appearances, but obviously you don't count walks or hit by pitch. Only 3 hits. None of them are extra base hits. Not good. But there's plenty of time left. Like it's so early. One thing I'm concerned about, like if we want to like be very overdramatic, Mets don't have the best pitcher in the division. My Marlins are 5-1.
Yeah,
And I said Marlins could be a little sneaky. They're always a little sneaky. I didn't say that they're going to make the playoffs or anything like that. I'm not going to retcon that. But Sandy Alcantara has now had since 2022. Keep in mind, he missed all of 2024. Has had more complete game shutouts than entire teams in that time frame. The only team that has more than him, I think, is the Phillies. As a team, you have a guy like that who is 2-0, no earned runs so far, 12 strikeouts, and already 16 innings pitched across 2 days, 2 games. Excuse me, not days. 1 complete game shutout yesterday, and then 1 7-inning game where he gave up 4 hits. He has 12 strikeouts so far on the year. Like that to me kind of would worry me if I'm a Met fan, because if you're going into it the season and you're thinking, all right, we got to outlast the Phillies and the Braves. I think the Phillies are going to take a step back. I don't think they're making the playoffs this year. I said the same thing last year. It goes to show what I know. Braves, I don't know how they're going to be. They got Ronald Acuna Jr. back, but last year the rest of their team was a disaster. A lot of injuries, but they were a disaster when they played.
Right.
Now, if the Marlins come sliding in here too, that's another team you have to worry about. And let's be honest, as much as Met fans wanted to, take it out on somebody last year when the Marlins were celebrating eliminating the Mets, Marlins have always had your number. They always have. Doesn't matter who's on which team. You could put me on that team, and I would look like Jeff Conine. So it just is one of those things.
Right.
You don't want to have to, you want less teams to be competitive. You want less parity in your division. So that's one thing I'd kind of be concerned about if you want any kind of takeaway over the last 7 days for the National League East and the New York Mets. But I think everything's going to even out fine. I'm a little worried about the bullpen still. Like I think like Edwin, people are like, well, Edwin Diaz, fine. Like leave us. He's been great so far for the Dodgers. Of course he has. Why not? And the Mets, like long term again, like Luke Weaver and Devin Williams. You're not exactly getting Trevor Hoffman and Mariano Rivera there. Like they did implode last year. And the year before that, Devin Williams imploded in the playoffs against the Mets. That's something that like I still want to see those guys kind of proven more. Bo Bichette and Marcus Semien and what I could care less. One thing I will say though, Marcus Semien usually starts off pretty well. So that may be more pause for concern. But the other thing is Luis Robert Jr. is playing out of his mind. So like you can't. He's not going to keep up this pace this whole year. Maybe not. Most likely not. That like you kind of got to take the good with the bad. And you're a 500 team right now. Whatever.
Right.
Everybody get their sea legs.
I feel like the pitching has definitely been pretty good. Senga had a good game the other day. I think he's gaining back what he was before he got hurt. Nolan McLean, he didn't start off good, but if given up 2 runs, 3 runs, 2 runs, if that's a bad start to me, then hey, I'll sign up for that in a heartbeat. And I think he had 9 strikeouts, if I'm correct, to start. I did go to the game on Sunday. That was a blunt, error on Lindor and the base running coach, third base coach that sent him home with 0 outs, thinking just being aggressive. And it's okay to be aggressive, but obviously the Pirates, played better in that moment. Otherwise, the Mets would be 4-2. But yeah, no, like you said, other teams within the NL East are looking good. Sandy Alcantara. I'm a little pissed, Dennis. You're going to be pissed at me too for this. First off, I want to say I was right. Sean was telling me that, hey, he doesn't have the stuff anymore. Clearly he does. In 2 starts, it's clear he has the stuff. And especially in my fantasy league history with the baseball league, like I need stuff like that. I need that.
You need luck.
I need luck. My first year in the league, I was doing great. I lost in the first round, but I'm hoping my luck is going to change this year. But what I need to work on is obviously putting, every day setting my lineups, and hopefully no one gets hurt. So what happened to me, Dennis? Alcantara was on my bench yesterday.
Why? You forgot.
I forgot.
Fantasy baseball, it's a grind.
It's a grind, but like I've been getting better. It's just I forgot yesterday, and that's what happened. It was 1:00. All the game, of course, it was the day. It was Wednesday. Most of the games are at 1:00. So that's what happens. Even though it was rough. You know who else was on my bench? Jonathan India.
Oh, he had a good game.
He had a good game. He had a grand slam.
Jonathan India is playing for you right now.
I'm pretty sure he's in my lineup. Let me see.
He's playing. He's getting points for you. He had 10 points yesterday, Brandon. Brandon, are you losing your matchup?
I'm losing to Cooper, yes.
Oh, my gosh, Brandon. See, if you're still winning.
But the thing is,
Sandy Alcantara is averaging 30 points a game.
I know. He's untradeable.
Oh, my God.
I got to say,
you could have 45 points between the two of them. I'm sorry. I shouldn't kick you while you're down.
No, hey, you know what? What are you going to do? You live and you learn, and hey, I just got to do better. Got to do better, Dennis. And I will be better. I will be better.
What's going
on? That's why I like having players that are versatile in the league, because like, not to go off topic, but like I said, like it's good to have like players like Alec Burleson, who's the outfielder, first baseman, and DH, and Jonathan India, who could also is a second base, third baseman, outfielder, and DH. Then obviously, you got Vientos, who can be a third base. So it's good to have versatility.
Listen, I will say, you should have definitely started Sandy Alcantara. That's crazy, but
it was an accident.
But what I will also say, what's really hurting him is Brian Bayo and Nathan Eovaldi. Nathan Eovaldi in 2 games, negative 13 points, 8.2 innings pitched. Brian Bayo, only 1 game so far. It was horrible.
He did give me a save. No, he got me. He did give me a save. But he has been horrible. Yes, I agree.
He's coming out of the bullpen for them now.
He's the closer until Josh Hader comes back.
Am I crazy? Brian Bayo?
Yes, that's what they said. That's what I read up on him.
No, Brian Abreu is who you're thinking of. I'm saying Brian Bello.
Oh,
Brian
Brian
Bello
Bello.
from the Red Sox. It says Bello, but it's pronounced Bello.
Oh, Brian Bello.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, he had an awful start.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's dragging you down, Brandon. Speaking
Yeah.
of baseball, Trevor Bauer, you are a Long Island Duck.
Yeah. That was
Did you
crazy. That
see
was
that?
crazy too. Yeah, I did see that. I did see that.
Trevor Bauer, welcome to the Ducks. That should sell some tickets. I'm gonna go to some Ducks games. Not because of that. You know how I feel about Trevor Bauer. But just in general, I've been saying for years, like the boys should go to a Ducks game. That could be some fun, Brandon. I think it's like what, $6 for a thing of Guinness. And Guinness on tap at a baseball game is not exactly common. That in and of itself is a draw.
Cute.
My Irish blood craves it, Brandon. It craves the nectar of the gods.
Mm. I think it'd be good to go to a. Let me see. Let me look at Ducks tickets. I'm curious now. When do they start? It's crazy that.
I could give you the exact date because I know who's pitching for them day one.
Imagine you just going out in like in Bayshore or like Islip or like somewhere on the Long Island. You see Trevor Bauer. That's pretty big. A
He's
little bit.
pitching for them opening day.
I never would have thought that Trevor Bauer would.
And he is April 21st. Tuesday, April 21st is opening day.
I never would thought Trevor Bauer would find a way back into baseball. I don't know, especially Long Island Ducks. I would have never predicted that.
Better
But
players have played.
going to the the Ducks games are pretty fun. They are pretty cool. I've tried. If I want to work there, I gotta find a hook. I gotta, I gotta find a hook for that. But I'm saying either way, going to the Ducks games are fun. So I've been there once as a kid.
I've been there a bunch of times. Some kid we went to undergrad with. I don't know if you know him or not. I'll keep his name out of it. But has worked for the Ducks. I forgot what he did. He's kind of a strange kid, but funny, but strange. But yeah. How does that Betsy? You say like it's crazy. Trevor Bauer would be going to the Ducks. Like that's nuts. He's not even like the best player that's played in that little like league. Roger Clemens was in that league at one point.
Was he really?
Yeah.
I know
Pedro.
Murphy.
I think Pedro was too.
I know Daniel Murphy.
Daniel Murphy. Well, Trevor Bauer didn't win a Cy Young award, but like I'm saying, guys that are like better, like wasn't Vlad Guerrero on one of those teams at one point? I think Julio Franco was on one of those teams.
I'm looking up right now.
Best players.
Rich Hill. I'm looking up. These are players for the Long Island Ducks. Lee Ford, Juan Gonzalez. Really?
Juan Gon. Oh, yeah. I mean, Juan Gon is way better.
2-time AL MVP. Yeah, Daniel Murphy was played 3 years ago. Who used the Ducks? He tried to use him to come back, and then I guess it just didn't work. That would have been cool. I don't know why I didn't sign up to see that. That would have been pretty cool.
Yeah,
Let's see.
Me out here.
All decade J.R. House. I do know a kid that we did go to Old Westbury with. He played on the baseball team. That I'm pretty sure I think he's on the Ducks. I'm pretty sure he's on the Ducks.
What's the name? I wonder if it's what I'm thinking of.
You want me to say it?
Yeah.
Patrick Quinn.
No, don't know.
Okay. Let me see if he's.
Shen was on the Mets. I was on the Ducks at one point.
Oh, Lou Ford, who played for them. He's on the team.
Edgardo Alfonso, who's a former Met.
Oh wait, really? Wait, these are players that are on the team.
Yeah, I'm looking at guys that were on the Ducks. We're just veering completely into Long Island talk here. So people who are not from Long Island might be confused, but who cares? But now I'm sure you guys figured it out. It's like a minor league, an unaffiliated minor league team that's in our area. Jackie Bradley Jr. was on this team.
What team?
The Ducks. Ramon Castro, I know. Eric Gagne. Him and Trevor Bauer are supposedly pretty tight in real life, so I wonder if that had something to do with it. Eric Gagne is so underrated. All right, the guy took steroids, whatever. But who cares? So underrated. Most consecutive saves ever.
Michael
Alex
Tonkin.
Dickerson. Michael Tonkin. He should still be in the league, Michael Tonkin. That's stupid. He should be in MLB. The Yankees never should have gotten rid of him. That was dumb. Alex Katz. No, I'm thinking of somebody different.
I think I saw Lee Ford play potentially.
Ian Kinsler. Wow. Ian Kinsler's another one. He was like really good when we were younger. It's only down to L. This is the kind of stuff I could just get lost in.
No, I have no problem. I have no problem doing it.
Brian Mattis. Huh. Deanna Navarro. I remember him too. Kirk Neuheis.
Kurt Neuheis, really?
Yeah, Kirk Neuheis. Pete Rose Jr.
I wouldn't mind being a mascot. That'd be funny. I'm looking at jobs for them. I wouldn't mind being a mascot.
Yeah.
That'd be funny.
I could never do that.
Fun fact, I don't know if I told you,
Tejada.
I did have to dress up for one time for the when I was working for Connoisseur. When I still work for them, but an event I was working, I was at the Smith Haven Mall, and we were partnered with Drake's Cakes. So now they came up to me and they said, "Hey, would you want to dress up?" I was like, as the duck, and I said, "Sure, I have no problem." So I dressed up. I don't know if I never told anybody this. I kind of kept on. For you, I would unreveal it.
Posted this. This is funny.
No, that's going in the vault. No one's.
Oh, stop! It's funny.
It is funny, but it is funny. No, but I had no shame doing it. I had no shame doing it. It was cool. Like, no, it was fun. Like, and like knowing me, like the fun personality that I am. Like, I had no problem doing it. I had no problem. I was like, I was like, hey, you need me to do it, and also. Like, I had no problem doing it. Like, I'm the fun personality that, I was like, hey, screw it. Like, and it was pretty hot. And the head, the duck, like, just was moving. Like, picture the head just, like, moving. So, it was hard for me to walk. But it was good. It was cool. Like, people love the duck. And so, like, I was, like, taking pictures. And, like, I was walking. I was fist bumping. Like, it was fun. And then, like, I did it for, like, 5-10 minutes. And now that was it. But, like, that was the one time I dressed up as a mascot. But like I said, one day I'll show you, but that's in the vault. I ain't showing.
My sister was the Long Island at the Plain Edge High School mascot for the robotics team. She was Fufu the Dragon.
What? We had a mascot? Really?
Yes, for the robotics team. Fufu the Dragon.
The heck is Fufu the Dragon? What
the red robotics dragon that we had?
I don't remember this.
I don't know why they didn't have the dragon at football games and stuff like that. Like, I think like a few people might have like just shown up once, like if they had the mascot costume, like, hey, can I just like?
I would have definitely did it. I feel like
the actual mascot would have been funny. But my sister was like, they used to have like the robotics competitions for Long Island at Hofstra. So like me and my family, we would go because we knew it meant a lot to her, and it would be so funny because you don't know my sister. Like, maybe you met her a few times.
I met her a few times, yeah.
But she does have a certain type of personality that, like, when she wants to be over, she's pretty over the top in a really good way. But
right, yeah.
She was so funny with it. She just like saw it as like carte blanche to just be like a heathen the whole time, and it's just like dancing behind people. They'd go on like the camera would pan them, and then she'd stop, and then if they like looked away, it'd start dancing again. It's like little things like that,
right? Yeah.
Like, like I don't know if you remember, like, Party Boy from Jackass. Like, have you ever seen that? Like, she would go dancing up to people and stuff like that, and like she would just have like a complete ball with it. So yeah, like she's somebody, she doesn't pay attention to sports, but she finds mascots hilarious. So she's like, I like the Flyers because they have Gritty. And I was like, uncultured swine. But just funny. Did you send it to me? I want at least one picture of you in the Drake's outfit. That's just funny.
Let's say I should. Nah, I don't know if I sent it to you, but
Post this breakout clip of you talking about being the Drake's mascot, and then post the picture with it on Instagram. Brandon, it'll blow up.
It could
be viral, Brandon.
If I'm going to go viral, it's going to be for the right reasons.
This isn't Brandon. It's not like you're going to go to hell if you're dressed as the Drake's duck. You're not going to get struck by lightning.
You never. No, I'm kidding. No, that photo, the Drake's, it's going in the. I'll text it to you. I'm not for the viewers though. Viewers, that's hidden. That's a gem for another day. But you know what? The Drake's duck, I know, would want us to talk about anything else in the baseball world.
I think I could think.
Well, I know Connor Griffith. He just got called up. I know that was one of the Pirates' 19-year-old prospect.
Yeah, Connor Griffin.
Suppose, but I guess he's a stud coming onto the scenes.
Yeah, I don't. I don't know, man. Like I'm just like thinking out loud to myself. Like, is there anything I missed that was like huge news? I don't think so. Yankees have looked very good, but that's really it.
I know Cam Slittler had a good game last night.
Dude, he's a beast. I have him on my fantasy team. I think I might have him on 2. He's just so good. He's just so good. The fact that we have him and Max Fried and we haven't even gotten Garrett Cole back. Oh, just score runs, boys.
Then you have Rondon.
Okay. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, him too. Yeah.
We'll see how it goes for the Yankees. It's going to be interesting. They got a good team. I don't know. They just got to hit. And I was talking about it with someone in the gym. They just got to be clutch. It's been hard for them just to come up clutch when they need, in the moments. That's my thing with the Yankees. You can have the best hitters in the world, and I'm not just talking about Judge. I'm talking about them as a whole. You could have the best players, but if you're not, you don't come clutch when it needed most, then that's how people are going to remember you. I mean, that's my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's and like I said, I'm not just talking about Judge. I'm talking about the team as a whole. But I think Stanton's coming around though. No,
dude, he's a beast.
Let's see. Did anybody pick him up? I hope nobody picked him up.
Yeah, I have him.
Of course you do.
I drafted him.
Pretty sure he was a free agent.
Maybe I'm pretty sure I took him at some point. I don't know. I'm in 3 different leagues, Brandon. These leagues all blend together. I know I have him in 2.
It's true. I can't believe I really had Sandy Alcantara on my bench.
Yeah, I have him in an hour. Nope. I have him in my other one. Oh, by the way, my team, I have Chris Bubich in my other league, so I named my team Booby Got Back. Funny. That's funny.
I think it's
That's funny. Booby Got Back. There's a good pitcher in our league available, I think, if you want one. No, I took him. I keep getting my teams mixed up this year.
Yeah, Bello. Oh my God, Brian Bello. Yeah, I gotta cut him. I gotta cut his ass. I thought that'd be a good pickup by me. No, that was not looking good so far.
He's not a bad pitcher.
I gotta be patient.
It's only been 1 start.
I gotta be patient. And I know with the Mets, like I said, hey, I'm happy with the start with 3-3. The pitching has looked great. The hitting definitely needs an improvement, but I know it's only the first 6 games. It's a slow start. I'll try to be as patient as I can be.
I'd cut Mark Vientos if I was you. He's never going to be playing. Cut Mark Vientos. What's he doing? What position is he playing for the Mets right now, Mark Vientos? Cut him, and take Joey Weimer. You know what? Don't take Joey Weimer. I just took him.
Damn it, you made me almost curse on him.
You know, why am I helping you out?
Oh my god, yeah, he's batting like 588. What the heck?
Whatever. Welcome to the team. Welcome to Cold Summer. Peckham Parker, baby.
Wait, damn it.
Take
You
Alec
really,
Baum.
you really
Get rid
just,
of Mark Vientos. Take Alec Baum.
what about Kyle Isbell?
Yeah, I think he's okay. He's on the Royals, isn't he?
He's hitting like
He's on the Royals.
563 to start the year.
Take him. Mark Vientos, when he gets playing time, is giving you an average of what 0.1 point per game. Come on. You know what it is? You get too emotional with your teams. Good, bad, or indifferent. You get too emotional. Royce Lewis. Well, you don't need a third baseman. You don't take if you had the choice to take a Patriot, I don't think you would take a Patriot because you're a Jets fan.
I've been better. I like to think I've been not. I like to think I've been better. Like when I made that trade for Jalen Waddle.
Take Otto Lopez. Take Otto Lopez. Take Otto Lopez. He's shortstop, second base. He's averaging 3.5 points per game.
I just picked up Isbell. Kyle Isbell.
Recent activity. Okay, yeah, he's doing good.
He's probably going to go in Vientos' spot or maybe the utility.
Sean?
I picked up Liam Hicks as my catcher. That was a good pickup. He had a good game. Yeah. When did I pick him up? Because especially at the catching spot, like I need a backup catcher. Catcher is definitely key because especially catchers don't play every day, so you got to switch them out. So that's a good pickup by me. Especially Alejandro Kirk. It's not a good start. So I like the start so far. I like what I'm doing.
I gotta tell you, I'm ready to bench Cal Raleigh for Dylan Dingler. Listen, the Cold Summer media, the Team 2E media, they're starting to get a little relentless here, buddy. We just won a championship last year, but we want to build a dynasty. We used to have a dynasty in fantasy baseball. Fans are clamoring for it. It's been a long time since we've had a ticker tape parade. Now they're hungry for more. They're not appreciating it in the moment, and they want me to start making more aggressive decisions. Speaking of aggressive decisions, what is going on with O'Neal Cruz in center field for the Pirates? You guys are all like, well, I can't believe Paul Skeens playing like that. Bro, who is playing center field for the Pirates?
Right,
O'Neal Cruz was horrible.
He did burn him. He did burn.
I'm not trying to dunk on the guy. He's way better. I was laughing about it actually in the faculty room last week. But at work, when I was doing observations,
right.
I was laughing with two of our former teachers.
Really?
And and I was saying, like, I was just dunking all over O'Neal Cruz. And I was like, now that being said, I'm here. And they started cracking up. I was like, I'm here eating an eggplant parm sandwich. And this guy's playing in the bigs. What am I to talk about athleticism? But he looks lost, man. He looks like he's like a lost kid who walked away from his mom on the first day of school. A rough go of it. I mean, come on. So we'll see how that pans out because the Pirates, they could call up whoever they want. Connor Griffin, Paul Skeens could pitch lights out. Like Paul Skeens, real quick, while I'm thinking about him, Paul Skeens, you guys got to him. You did. I'm not taking anything away from the Mets. His ERA this year across 2 games is at 9.53. That's not good. His field independent pitching is 3.70. That is such a high discrepancy. That is the defense letting him down. His ERA, if it was just up to him, despite him playing poorly against the Mets, should be 3.70. 6 runs less than his actual ERA. That's, like I just said, that to me is bad defense around him. And if the Pirates aren't going to fix those fundamental problems, it doesn't matter who they call up. Like, you got to get it together. As bad as Paul Skeens was that first game, do you guys only end up winning what 11-7, 9-7, something like that?
11-7, yeah.
11-7. That's a lot. They put up a lot of runs.
They did.
So that was a winnable game for them. despite their number one guy getting blown out in the first inning. So the Pirates, if they really want to make noise, they gotta be a team. They gotta be a unit. You can't be sloppy. You can't give up runs like that. They left a lot of money on that table. So yeah, I don't know if you have anything else.
No, I think we're all set.
Okay.
All right. Thank you everybody for tuning in. SportsShack episode 47. My name is Brandon Natali, along with Dennis Tui. And I hope everybody has a happy Easter and a great weekend and a happy Easter weekend.
Enjoy the jelly beans and go Yukon Huskies. Woof.
Them too.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.
That was good. That was not